All right. All right, I think we're live. I'm just gonna double check here on my phone and make sure we're going live on the Nature's Pantry page here. Yep, we're good. Okay. Cool, well, welcome, Vibrant You Health Challengers. And congratulations to everybody for finishing the challenge. It's been a great challenge. We had about 40 people. We actually probably had quite a few more actively engaged. 40 people turned in their points every week, but then there was quite a few more who were just kind of following along. And so, this was our second one, and I'd say it's probably was the most successful out of both of them. So anyhow, what I want to do, first off, we have a few things to go through tonight. We're going to do some testimonials with our guests. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We have Yvonne and Carol in the top left, Suzanne, my stepmom, here in the next left down, Tara and Gary Tucker down in the very bottom, and Nicole Haggerty, our sponsor, co-sponsor of the event. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. So we're going to do some testimonials with them, and then we're going to get into some announcements of the prizes and everything. And then we're going to just talk about just an encouraging note to end. So let's get started. So for those of you who don't know, my stepmother, Suzanne, she has a pretty neat story to tell us about her experience with the challenge. So why don't you go ahead and kind of tell us how it went for you and what you learned and what you experienced.
All right, Blake, thanks. Well, thanks to Blake for putting this challenge on, because so I had been exposed to vegetarianism. I like the term plant-based better because my experience with it was, I mean, I've always liked vegetables. I didn't eat a lot of meat, really. I wasn't always a meat eater. I love salads, all that stuff. But I didn't really like the analog meat, like the fried chicken and some of the processed vegetarian options that are out there. And I didn't really buy into the really minimizing your meat intake. I didn't really buy into that. I thought, well, but I can certainly eat a lot more vegetables. I like them, and I like plants and these kinds of things. I like plant-based foods. But what happened for me when I started embracing this challenge and just cooking completely plant-based, not adding any processed foods, not adding anything, additive processed sugars, just using the natural things like date sugar and honey, is it really helped my health, my situation. I have type 1 diabetes, and I also ended up getting kidney stones like 10 years ago. And my kidneys have to be, plus there's just kidney disease that I have to be careful with. Mm-hmm. And then I got lucky and I ended up getting osteopede, which is, thank you. And I also ended up getting some issues with calcium depletion. And this is all related to just, type 1 diabetic situation. So I, eating mainly plant-based foods, I didn't realize that all of these things are just going to help my situation. For example, because I ended up with this kidney stone, the doctor gave me this low oxalate diet, which was basically no beans, no lettuce, no berries, no fruits, no nuts. All of those things are oxalate concentrated. He said, you can't eat those. Well, the reason they said that was if you eat those things and have meat, your food's going to crystallize, and that's what's going to cause the kidney stones. So if you take out the meat part and eat all those things, I haven't had any issues with kidney stones.
Wow,
and
that's
so
cool.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So it wasn't the vegetables and the plants, it was the meat. So if I leave that out, then I can have all that good food. And it's wonderful. So I was really excited about that. Also, I learned that phytates, which are beans and legumes, those contribute to enriching calcium in your diet, and they contribute to bone health, which I really, really need right now. So I'm excited to see as I get tested for this, if that's going to improve my bone health.
Cool.
All these legumes and beans, which I've been eating very regularly, you know. Now, I'm not adding, I'm trying to stay away from anything processed, no cheese and that kind of stuff, because I think that's just going to contribute to things like poor bone health and anything that's going to affect my blood sugar control. And this system of eating mainly plant-based has really kept my blood sugars level. Even having like date sugar and honey, that works a lot better in my system than processed sugar, because processed sugar will spike my blood sugars, and natural sugar doesn't seem to do that as badly. So I've been pleasantly surprised with that. And I've also been surprised that all these foods in my system are slow. They work in my system slower, so there's not as many spikes in my blood sugars, which has just been really awesome.
Wow. So
The other thing is all the water that's
Mhm.
required really helps with kidney function. And it also prevents kidney stones.
Wow.
So that's good. And the other last thing I really like is that, and I was listening to this in that movie, How Not to Die, that when you're eating meat-based food, it causes like an addictive reaction to one's eating. I don't know if you guys watched that movie, How Not to Die, but it really talks about when you're eating meat-based food, it causes a tendency to want to just to really crave foods. Whereas plant-based eating, you don't have that like addictive, like I need sugar kind of, I need meat. It's just kind of a nice level feeling of fullness. You get fuller faster. And it kind of describes the science behind that in that movie. And I've noticed that when I'm eating.
What movie was it?
It's the movie How Not to Die. It's the movie, and it's on Netflix.
It must be, because that's a book. I don't think that's a movie. Was it Forks Over Knives or The Game Changers?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Forks Over Knives.
Okay.
Forks Over Knives describes that.
Yeah.
Describes that how your body somehow absorbs food better with the plant-based food versus. Now, I'm not opposed to eating meat. I'm just saying how it works for me.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's been the coolest thing, I think, is just immediate satiation after I eat plant-based food.
And I think that's important. You know, everybody's in different places and everybody's going to do the things that are best for them.
Right.
And I think that no matter where you're at, whether you're going to go completely whole food plant-based or whether you're just going to try to add more whole food plants into your diet, you're going to see some results. I've certainly been reading a lot of studies from various medical practitioners about how a whole food plant-based diet can prevent and reverse many chronic diseases, including obesity, heart disease, diabetes, type 2 mainly, but as Suzanne mentioned, even type 1, which is you're born with.
Yeah, but
and it's
you
hard.
have to, there's all kinds of health issues that can come along with that, that I think eating this way is just gonna hopefully not be an issue for me.
Right.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Well,
oh, and one other thing,
yeah.
that they said because I'm diabetic, I have to be on a statin, which even though I don't have a cholesterol issue, they said take a statin because you're type 1 diabetic. Well, what they're basically saying is they're assuming, I think, is that I eat meat. So that's going to increase my cholesterol, which they don't want that to be an issue for in case of stroke or heart attack, because I guess I'm real susceptible to that because of type 1 diabetes. But if I'm not eating meat, why do I need a statin? So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of test results I'm going to get from just eating plant-based and not having to even have to have a statin. If I have to have one, I'll take it, but I'll be curious to see if I even need one.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think what's neat is I mean, wow. I just can't. That's so cool that it's helped
Um,
kidney stones, helped regulate your diabetes, um,
mhm.
and all the, what else was there?
Calcium or bone health,
Yeah. And
low cholesterol eating.
yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
it's
so many
really
blood
cool.
sugar spikes, you said also.
What was that,
Yeah,
Nicole?
Not so many blood sugar spikes.
right. More
Yeah,
even sugars. Yeah.
that's
So it's
great.
all really been, it's been a godsend, really, Blake. I'm just so excited.
Cool. Well, that's so cool. And you know, one of the goals I really want to get in place is, and maybe we'll work with some local healthcare providers here, but I really want to get do one of these challenges and do a full like health panel before of like your cholesterol, your blood pressure, your weight, your body mass index, body fat percentage, you know, all those things, those key markers, and then do it for like a month and then see what everybody's results are.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
The documented studies I've read are, it's really powerful what people see in there. And I think one thing you mentioned about the osteoporosis that's interesting is a lot of times we hear drink milk for strong bones and we need this protein for strong bodies, and you know, there's calcium in milk that we need. Well, what we found actually is in parts of the world where they have less percentage of protein in their diet, they don't have incidence of osteoporosis.
Exactly.
Really in the,
Yeah.
the world where we have so much overindulgence in these animal products and too much protein, because what happens when you have too much protein in the diet, it actually takes calcium from your bones and leaches it into the blood. So
Hmm.
I would see that even like a blood test from that, it would look like your calcium was higher in the blood anyway.
Yeah. No kidding.
Well, Suzanne, thank you so much for sharing that. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Blake. Thanks again for having these challenges. I probably wouldn't have gone full into this
Great
without this incentive, without the family pressure to do the challenge.
job. Well, Suzanne, thank you so much. I know you got to go on to, so I'll let you go, but thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate it. You have a great night when we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, I'll listen to all you guys later. Thank you.
Okay.
I see.
Bye.
Good.
All righty. So, Tara and Gary,
Whoa. Here we are.
so tell me a little bit about your experience and kind of what you guys focused on. What was your number one goal in the challenge?
I didn't have a number one goal, really. I just went into it, I think, because it seemed interesting and to learn a little bit more about how to challenge myself health-wise. So
Cool.
I kind of, that evolved as I went along for me. One of the things that one of your questions was, what did I love about it? And really, I like that you focus so much on not just the nutrition and the exercise, because I do that already, but all the other parts, the sunshine, and I liked giving credit to that, and the rest and the spiritual health and the learning, although Gary did a better job on that than I did. But it was just fun to
Unusual.
it was fun to compare and to do it together, I guess, because we exercise together a lot. That was never a problem. And we eat really pretty well. Our plates are full of vegetables or salad and fruit, and then we have a little bit of protein. So I don't know that changed that much, if at all, really.
No.
Tell
for
me,
us.
Pretty much we were doing a lot of the things on the challenge. I was a little more strict. I intermittent fasting a lot. I liked it when I was on the keto diet quite a few months ago. And I really liked the intermittent fasting. And I did it more diligently. I fell away from it, and then I did it real diligently for the past month. And it felt good, and it feels good to me. Just something that I do. But
yeah.
Tara said our plant-based, we eat lots of vegetables fresh, and hardly any processed foods. And was eating a lot more
sugar like cookies and stuff at night. And when I started this, that was one of my goals, or one of my deals. I would take away 5 points if I did the cookie thing and the cake and all that, which I didn't do. So I didn't have many negative deals. But again, Tara said we watch our sleep heavily, and I think I'm sleeping a little better with more plant-based and rest and sunshine. So it was just an all-around great thing that you put together.
We would do it again easily.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting that you would maybe do something with healthcare providers. That would be really interesting to see how we could maybe even improve more our health. And to dovetail on the sugar thing, it was kind of a fun way for both of us not to have sugar. And I love to bake. So my experience has been, okay, how can I make some cookies or muffins or things that we like, but not use sugar? So that's been a challenge, and I'm going to keep that up,
Cool.
and more whole grains. So I've enjoyed that. And the water has been kind of revolutionary for us, because we always drank lots of water, but to drink half your weight in water, it wasn't a stretch that way, but it was, the reaction to our bodies was good. So that will keep up as well.
Cool. That's cool. It's so cool to hear your story.
And I really like putting a number on, saying that it's so important to have that sunshine and the rest in the day and the recharge and the meditation, and we read our devotionals every day and we pray together every day. That's kind of cool to say that's important to your overall health.
Yeah.
So,
you did a great job of putting all that together, Blake.
Oh, thanks. Well,
And it was fun. It got Tara even a little more together.
That's so cool. And I have to say that the program really came from Linda's program, her wholeness acronym, and came from like Dr. Windows, and just things that we've all kind of learned together over time. And just kind of like, and what was really neat is when I showed Lisa Baxter, who from Mountain Valley Therapy, who was one of our co-sponsors, when I showed her this program the first time and wanted her input, she was like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe, like I almost have this exact same outline in my office. And you know, the thing about these are like fundamental health principles that we all know, but we don't always execute them very well. And we need reminded, and we need supported to pull it off and to get better at it.
Definitely.
I agree.
And we had to go to Vancouver for a few days, and then I had a health kind of thing going on where it made me not feel good for several days. And I was shocked at how hard it was to keep up some of my routine things that I take for granted. So I have more respect for people that are, maybe have health concerns and are still trying to get healthy, because it's so much easier when we're home all the time to keep up my exercise and sunshine and all that. So that was something I learned too from it, how to navigate that. But
my lowest scores were when I was traveling. So the food and everything stayed about the same, but exercise fell, obviously. And I got to figure out a way to take my barbells and get motivated at the grandkids' place to follow through with my daily exercises. So, but I'll get it figured out.
And it was really great too to really stay in these positive health habits when sometimes you look at the world and it's like, wow, it's kind of crumbling out there, but we are still working hard to stay healthy in all the facets. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is it'd be nice to hear about some of this stuff on the mainstream. It's like we're in the middle of a health epidemic, but nobody's talking about health. So maybe we should try to do that.
No kidding.
Yeah, I agree with you. So way to go. Keep it up.
Hey, thank you guys so much. And thank you so much for your encouragement and your positive engagement in this. It's been inspiring to me and to the rest of the challengers.
When's our next one?
Hopefully it won't be too long. I'll definitely keep you in the loop.
Okay,
Good
baby.
job. Thanks.
Cool. Do you guys want to stay on or do you need to go? You want-
We're probably gonna eat some
We
dinner.
need to eat something. Yeah, it's dinner time.
Okay, cool.
Well, we
Okay.
might just leave it on and listen.
But
Okay.
yeah, you can,
Yeah.
we'll turn our Zoom off.
Okay, cool. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.
Yeah.
You also, see ya.
Great job, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, Carol and Yvonne, you ready for the hot seat?
Yep, we're ready.
Cool. So why don't you ladies tell me about your experience with this challenge?
You can go first. Well, last time, the first challenge, I kind of took part kicking and screaming, but then I got, jumped in with both feet, and I haven't looked back. And so it's been a fun experience, and I can see a lot of difference in my health and my outlook in life. It seems kind of weird, but I seem to be happier. I don't know, but I seem to be a happier person. Some days, most days, I should say. There's still days that, you have your ups and downs, but anyway.
Oh yeah, that's so cool. Yvonne, what was your #1 goal in the challenge?
Actually, to stay with it, because
Oh yeah, please just go. Yeah.
so then we've stayed plant-based the whole time, and then we have cut out dairy and hardly no sugar. And the health benefits just been amazing. The arthritis, I don't have any flare-ups, and we've been like hiking and doing everything every day. Joints aren't swelling. It's just
Wow.
really, and just gets better and better.
So that's pretty incredible, really. Now, Yvonne and Carol, this is your second challenge. You guys have also done both challenges. And you've both been superstars in both challenges, right at the top of the leaderboard. And you've just gone full into it. I've been so proud of you guys, and you've really just kind of, to see you guys do it fully and to see the results you got and to see you in the store and just being positive was uplifting to me.
Thank you. It was fun.
I
enjoyed it.
I really like your cooking classes you did that you streamed. I thought that was nice.
Those are fun.
Mhm,
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
And finding new recipes and stuff. That's been doing a lot more this challenge this time, doing that.
Yeah, and that's the thing for us is, some people, I think it's good to go full bore and learn a bunch of new recipes all at once, but also if not, like in our house, really, we've just learned one at a time over long term and just added them in. And then once we got really good at one, then it was easy to just have as one of our mainstays. Yeah. So tell me, both of you, what would you say that you learned? What was the most valuable thing you learned?
Learned patience.
Patience with yourself, or
patience on to get frustrated, or like sometimes with because sometimes it's hard when you're trying to do different meals because not everyone's eating the same. Just stay with it. It's worth it.
Yeah. Cool. How about you, Carol?
Definitely worth it.
So tell me, have you read any of the books or watched any of the movies?
Yes. Well, I did mainly movies. And so this last challenge, they had the Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. They had #2 this time. That was different than the first challenge. Netflix, was through Netflix, and it was really good. And then, of course, my favorite is Forks Over Knives.
Yeah, that one's really good.
That was the one that really.
Yeah.
We watched them again. We watched them all the first time, but yeah, we had some new ones.
Yeah. I didn't read any books because the library is closed, but did all the movies.
Yeah.
10 movies I watched, but
Wow.
I'm, with Yvonne, I really like that Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead part 2, because he goes in And Phil is the kind of the star because he loses a whole lot of weight and then he gains it all back. Or I'm giving the storyline away, but anyway, then they send in someone to help him. And that's one of the things that that if a person decides to do this, they need a partner, they need a support person.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's someone that's on the same page and, doing the same thing with you and can just, cheer you on when things get tough.
Yeah, that's definitely something I noticed is the people who had a support system, whether it was being tied into the group on Facebook or whether you had another person you were just doing it with, those people did really well. I think you're so right. And that's what I think is so powerful about the challenges, coming alongside each other and supporting each other and encouraging one another. And when we're doing it together, there's accountability and there's encouragement, and it's just more fun.
Sharing recipes and
Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah. I have to share the benefit. I wish I was 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure my seasonal allergies are gone. I'll know in a month. Either they're late or they're not coming. I just don't know. I'm hoping they're not coming.
Yeah, well, I had mine earlier. I mean, we're all allergic to different things blooming at different times, but I know, so maybe we'll see.
A little bit.
You'll have to keep us informed and let us know.
I will, because they're pretty bad.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It would be awesome. Really awesome. But Blake, was yours any milder this year by doing this?
I've noticed my allergies kind of come and go with age, it seems like. But I usually actually don't get them in the spring. I usually get them in the fall. So it was just kind of a different spring. So, so anywho, so Yvonne, you said, what's the biggest change and benefit for you?
What's the biggest change?
Was it the arthritis or what else?
Yes, the arthritis and my swelling, because I had knee surgery here with an ACL about 3 years ago. And I've had, since I've done plant-based, I have not flared up at all with the arthritis in that knee or swelling. And we're doing something every day, hiking or walking, whatever it might be, 7 days a week.
Cool.
Really, it's been really nice.
And Carol, yours, you think was allergies, or you also mentioned being feeling happier?
I have more energy and endurance. We go up Mira sometimes and walk for 2 hours where I couldn't do that before. I would, walk for an hour and be killing me.
Wow.
That's
awesome. That's awesome. So what would you two say to other people to encourage others to persevere in their health journey?
I think take baby steps, go at your own pace, and get a support person and stick with it because it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't give up. You gotta stay with it.
Oh.
It gets better.
And if you fall off the wagon, get back on.
Yep.
Don't give up.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you two so much for the inspiration and encouragement and for doing this tonight. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing everything.
Yes, thank you. And to Nature's Pantry also.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
We look forward to the next one.
Well, we'll let you go and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Great job, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, Nicole. So I'm curious to hear a little bit about your experience, and I'm curious to know if you've noticed any improvement since you did the 2 challenges. Since you were already you had quite a few things already on lockdown since you're a health and fitness coach and you've been living a healthy lifestyle for a long time.
Yes. Well, my number one goal was to meditate at least 3 minutes a day. And it was a little challenging for me to get into that routine. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't a habit before and I really wanted to do it. So I found the easiest way for me to do it was just as soon as I woke up and I did my stretching, I would breathe and just focus on my breath while I was stretching. And it was just amazing because before in the mornings, I would be kind of rushed and, running around. But when I just do that quick little meditation, even if it's only for 3 minutes, I'm calmer, I'm collected, and actually I'm not late. I have more time. I feel like I'm better time management skills. And it's just because meditation is so great for us. It just puts us back into that state of, okay, we know what we're doing now, whereas before I felt kind of like sporadic, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I feel like that was definitely all around the number one thing that changed for me was that meditating. So now it's like I have to make sure I take the time to do it because I know it's going to set my day up. So, and it's easy, just do it as soon as you wake up, and then you don't have to worry about doing it later in the day. And then I find that like, because I exercise a lot, I like to jog, I like to work out, I like to take the dog for walks, stuff like that, get out in nature. And so also that's part of my spirituality too, is being out in nature. So like you were saying before, like you can do a lot of points for certain or different things at the same time. So that's kind of what I was doing. We got out into the mountains a lot, went hiking, and I just was more mindful and more aware this time. And it actually helped me dive deeper into my passion for raw, alive foods and using food as medicine. Just because the cleaner you eat, the better you feel. At least that's my experience. And from what I can hear, everybody else on the challenge as well, having great testimonials. I just love hearing all of those good things that are coming from the plant-based diet, especially like Suzanne with the, she's able to control her diabetes with her lifestyle now. And just, it's amazing. But yeah, diving deeper into that passion for food as medicine, and that's what it's really about is, I would say not necessarily we are what we eat, but literally what we eat, we become, because our body is taking those nutrients from what we're putting in our body. Our body is filling up on nutrients, not calories, and so that's why the standard American diet is so bad for our health, because we're not taking any nutrients away from that. If you're eating a McDonald's cheeseburger and fries, it's literally just going right through you. Your body's not taking the nutrients from the food. But if you're eating a salad or fresh foods, your body is taking all of that nutrients from the food that you're eating, and it's doing something in there for you. So yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing today is we have more calories available to us than any, society on the face of the earth in the Earth's history.
yes.
But it's the most nutrient deficient food that's ever existed either. And so, that's one thing I noticed too, is like eating whole plant foods, like there's so much water in them that, you chew those up and you don't need something to wash it down. It actually feels almost like it's hydrating you in a way and giving you energy. And I don't feel like fat, like bloated and like kind of tired and sick after I eat it. I feel good. I feel like I can go run around or do whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't need like a 32-ounce Coke to wash it down with.
Right.
Which is another added benefit. I drank a lot of soda pop, and then because I used to drink a lot of beer, then I quit drinking so much beer. I quit drinking beer completely, and then I drank a lot of soda because it was better for me than the amount of beer I was drinking. But then I started to learn. I came to work here and learned how bad soda was. And then for a while, even until recent years, I've always would like order when I went out to eat, and I don't even do that anymore, but it was a slow I always have to learn the hard way and do everything I'm not supposed to do.
Well, it's like those old habits. I mean, when we go out and we're socializing, we want to have a soda or a drink or something, you know, with our friends because everyone else is. So sometimes it can be really courageous to stand up and say, no, I'm having water, you know, with lemon.
Yeah. So, you know, obviously that focusing on that one goal for you, everything else kind of fell into place because you were singularly focused on one thing. I felt like everything else fell into place. I think a lot of those habits, you know, you've been working on for a long time, but I think you really, compared to the last challenge, even though you did good in the last challenge, I feel like everything really, based on the points you were sending in every week, I was blown away by how good you were doing. And so I think that speaks to the power of your singular focus. And what's interesting is when we focus on that one thing and doing that one thing well, the other habits kind of fall in behind. Mm-hmm. And maybe they don't all fall in behind right at once, but some of them do at once. And then later on, they follow, like even sometimes years later, they start to fall into line.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool. And Nicole, you did an amazing job. You were actually the #1 points leader of the whole challenge. You had a couple gals that were right on your heels, but you held them off there at the end. You had some really good ones. It was encouraging to see how well you were doing.
That's exciting. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you know, it's all really just about working on yourself every day and being that best version that you can be of yourself every single day, you know. And nobody's perfect. None of us are perfect, but that's the beauty of it. You know, we're all just going at our own pace, you know, literally. If I had to give advice for people, it is every second is brand new, you know, like you might feel like you're failing just because you ate a cookie or, you know, whatever it may be, or you didn't get your workout in, or, you know what I mean? But literally every second is brand new. So you can choose to change it whenever you want to. You just have to remember your why and be motivated enough to do it. Because remember, if you can't properly put on your oxygen mask, you can't help someone else with theirs. So
that's right. You have to take care of yourself, like you said, and do the best you can to take care of yourself, because if you don't, you're not really going to be a healthy situation to help somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. And I liked what you said, the singular focused goal, you know, that helps everything else fall into place, because then you don't have to worry about doing all these different things. But that's the beauty of this challenge, is most of the things on the list, a lot of us are doing a lot of those things already. So it's easy to just pick something to focus on and then continue to do what you're already doing. You know what I mean? That way you can set yourself up for success.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Do you have anything else that you would say to encourage people on their health journey?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, literally, like every time you think that you can't, just turn that around and say you can, because ultimately it is up to you. And like I was just saying, you have the choice, you have the power, and you have to choose yourself and put yourself first.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Nicole. Shall we get into some, you know, a little bit of recognition of people and challengers?
Yeah.
Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in tonight. All you challengers did so good in this challenge. It's been so much fun to see everybody grow, everybody develop, everybody learn. It's been awesome to see you encourage one another and lift each other up to share and support. And, you know, we're all in different places on the list of the standings, which I sent out an anonymous point standing to everybody's email. But you know what? I want you to remember that, you know, you should be proud of yourself no matter where you're at on the list. Congratulations for engaging in your health. You know, the healthiest and happiest people are people who are actually engaged. It's not any common denominator. It's not exercise. It's not diet. It's not this or that. It's people that are actually engaged. Like Nicole said, people that are trying to improve every day. And even when we fail, even when we fall down, get back up, dust ourselves off, and keep going. And so I want you to know that no matter where you are on the standings, you should be very proud of yourself, even just for engaging in this health challenge, let alone completing it. Those of you who turn in your points every week, great job.
And you are successful just for doing that, you know?
Yes, that is a huge success just for doing it and engaging in it. And, you know, it's these healthy habits that we've been practicing over the last 4 weeks are the fundamental building blocks to a strong immune system and vibrant health for life. It seems that a lot of people today have forgotten about these healthy habits and these principles, but you have a leg up because you committed 4 weeks to solidifying them in your daily life. So I just want to encourage you to continue reinforcing them and just don't be too hard on yourself. Life and health are not a game of perfect. It's a pursuit of progress. So we don't claim perfection, we claim progress, and just keep working towards progress and keep investing in yourself and in your health because you are worth it. Okay. So everybody who completed the challenge, we have prizes here for you at the store with your name on it. So just come on into the store. If you completed the challenge and turned in your points every week, come into the store. We have a prize for you. And just ask for me or Jess, and we'll get that for you. And don't forget also, tomorrow we did it today, but tomorrow as well, you get 20% off your entire purchase for all the challengers. Even if you just participated and didn't turn in your points, we're extending that deal to you too. So 20% off your whole purchase all day tomorrow is the last day that's going, and we're open till 5 tomorrow. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the list, a few of the prizes that are be given out, and to our sponsors. Mountain Valley Fitness and Health gave out 2 month-long memberships to winners, and Nicole Haggerty gave Purium, Cocos Mint Spirulina, and a free consult to anyone who completed the challenge. So any of you who turned in all 4 weeks of points, you can schedule a consult with her.
Yes, and I will put my contact information in the comments.
Okay, cool. And we have some cards we'll give out too for others. And then Olivia Westensko, she's with Live Fit, and she gave 5 free classes. And that's once the in-person classes start again. So as soon as those start, whoever wins that gets to have those 5 free classes. Tim James with Chemical Free Body, he is giving away a free 30-minute coaching call to the person who won that prize. And we'll talk to you about how to set that up. And then Nature's Pantry, we are giving $600 worth of gift certificates and $400 worth of prizes. So everybody who participated and completed all their points gets a prize. We have a lot of great stuff here. So swing by the store anytime that's convenient for you and pick those up. So I just want to continue to encourage you that approved book and movie list we sent out. Those are books that Linda has read over the years and books that I've just been turned on to by other people. But things that I've read and movies we've watched, you know, it's like anything. We may not necessarily agree 100% with everything, but as far as the nutrition part of these things is pretty spot on. And, you know, that's for you. We have to take everything with a filter these days. So, but you know, those books and those movies have a huge wealth of information. And I just say that it seems today that if a message, I'm just encouraging you to use independent sources for your information, because unfortunately today a lot of studies that are out there and media that is available is being funded with special interests or big corporations. So one thing that struck me today, if a message is getting pushed on you that you're seeing everywhere and it's in a big marketing campaign, I would be skeptical of it. Messages like milk builds strong bones. chances are that someone's not telling you the whole story and that they have an agenda. But it seems like a lot of the independent studies that are out there are the things we really need to be paying attention to. And those are messages that we kind of have to go, that's information we kind of have to go seek out. That's not necessarily getting pushed on us. And, you know, for instance, in the milk, it's actually that too much protein in the diet can leach calcium from the bones into the blood. So,
but it can also cause uric acid buildup, which causes kidney stones, and it literally just destroys your nerve endings, you know, that uric acid buildup. So it is bad.
Yeah, so those books, like anything that Colin T. Campbell writes, like the China Study and the book Whole and Forks Over Knives, and Esselstyn, Rip Esselstyn, his son, he's really good. Joel Furman, Michael Greger, all those doctors, everybody on that list. And I can resend that list out again, but I just encourage you to keep learning, because learning is a catalyst to positive change. And so for me, it wasn't until I learned about these things that I really got inspired to make the changes in my own life. And you're not going to find this information getting pushed on you out there today. It's stuff that you kind of got to look for a little bit. There's probably a little bit of truth in that to our current situation. If you want to get some truth, you might look for some sources that aren't attached to large agendas. And, you know, that's the thing. There's, you know, not that there's not some truth in those things too, but I digress. So let's get back to the point. You know, what I really want to do is encourage you. And when I started this challenge, the first time we went, my number one goal was to be consistent in spending time with God in the morning. And it's really helped me set my day off on the right foot, both spiritually and physically. And I think there's some parallels between physical and spiritual health. I think it seems like a lot of the things that are bad for me, both physically and spiritually, seem nice in the short run, but end up leading to pain and problems in the long run. Whereas things that are good for me, both physically and spiritually, in the long run, don't necessarily seem like so much fun in the short run. But then usually once I rework my habits, I actually start to enjoy those things. And it also leads to long-lasting benefits, like health, peace, and joy. And as I practice the things that are good for me, my habits change, my desires and cravings change, and I change from the inside out. And I think we can all experience that, how our habits have changed, how it's become kind of automatic, how even eating raw vegetables and getting away from the sweets and the processed food, like our palates change. And so, and the hard part really is just getting that new habit established. And once that habit is established, it becomes a lot easier. And I told this story the last time, but it's a good one, so I wanted to tell it again. Is the Cherokee Indians used to put young braves through a vision quest, and they would go out in the desert for many days in search of a vision from God. One young brave named Teao had a disturbing vision on his quest. And so he went back to his grandfather and asked his grandfather what the vision meant. And so he told his grandfather that this vision was between two wolves, a white wolf and a black wolf, and they were fighting for his destiny. And he said he woke up and he was in a sweat, and he woke up and he couldn't figure out which one was going to win. And he asked his grandfather, which one is going to win? And his grandfather told him, Teao, it's the one you feed. And so I want to use that story. I want to encourage you to feed your body good things. I want you to feed your spirit good things. I want you to feed your mind good things. Whatever you feed grows. Whatever you feed will win. If you feed your body good things for your health, your health will grow. If you feed your mind and spirit fear and negativity will grow. If you feed faith and joy will grow. There's a Bible verse that says, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. So feed your body good things and feed your spirit good things. Bad thinking, like fear and the like, has a big impact on your health. So maybe we need to turn off the news, because at least in my experience, it isn't very uplifting. And if you want some recommendations for positive sources of reading or listening, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help. I have some great things that I use that are great. And I think it's really important right now, with this current situation that we're in, to not only feed our bodies, but feed our minds, so that we can put our health in a positive place and put our minds in a positive place, because there's so much negativity around us. And I've been convicted lately that I really need to focus on trying to be a positive force in all of this and encourage people. And, you know, with this COVID thing, life for me at work has been pretty stressful, and it's been really hard to stay positive. I keep finding myself getting in a trap of negative thinking. But you know, it occurred to me, my dad recently gave me a good idea about how to stop saying negative things. And what you do is you take a bracelet like this and you put it on one wrist on one side. And then if you say a negative thing, you got to switch it over to the other wrist. And the goal is to keep it on the same wrist for as long as you can. And then if you switch it, it's okay. You know, don't get too hard on yourself, but just try to keep it on whatever wrist it's on for as long as you can. And I'm actually kind of had this a thing today. This idea came to me, and I want to order a bunch of these that say "Speak Life" challenge on one side, and then I'm going to have, it's a Bible verse, Ephesians 4:29 on the other. And I'm going to have some of those made. So stay tuned, because I may be having some of those available.
That's a cool idea, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, just in closing, I just want to encourage you to continue your health journey, continue learning, growing, and improving, because small habits over time lead to big change. God loves you, and you are valuable beyond measure. Keep moving forward. Keep striving towards positive progress. The Japanese call this kaizen, and it means continuous improvement. Don't get down on yourself for your failures. Don't be discouraged by the setbacks in life, at least not for long. If you fall down, get back up and dust yourself off. Face the next day with even more resolve. It's the challenges we face and the trials we go through in life that we learn from, that make us stronger and that make us better. We've been given our own unique set of challenges and trials in our life as a gift, and that once we come through those, we will have the tools we need to help others come through the same trials. So don't give up, and keep pushing forward each day with the amazing perseverance, faith, and determination that you've each shown me this month, because you are all incredibly worth it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Well, shall we sign off for the night?
Yes. Great job, everyone. I am so just excited for everybody who participated, and really just give yourselves a big round of applause. Like, seriously, great job putting yourselves first, guys. Wonderful.
Awesome. Air 5. Great job, everybody. See you soon. Thank you so much, Nicole. You're awesome. Appreciate all your help.
Have a great night.
See you guys.